Thank you, Coach. From beautiful South Florida, there's a look at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Houston Texans and the Miami Dolphins. A pair of 3-0 teams set to lock horns for the right to remain unbeaten. And we're off in Week 4. Jakeem Grant now to return. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. The first carry now. This is Johnson. And they take him down, losing yardage back at the 27. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
Nice play right there to stop him behind the line, but I want to see how this defense continues to play him here in the first half.
Yeah, we know. You know better than I. He has the ability to take over a game, so what do you do?
Yeah, I think you have to make sure that you bottle him in at varying levels, because if you crowd everyone to the line of scrimmage, if he breaks through, it's nothing but room to run.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11.
Detroit! Detroit!
Now they'll throw here out of the gun. Dumping it off for Johnson. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. Give him 7 on the play, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
Now, Barney!
He'll drop to throw. Escaping the pressure right. Now he's going to throw deep right side. Oh, he almost picked it. Nearly a turnover there on their opening drive. And that's a throw he'd like to have back. Now 4th down.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
Watson will bring up the Texans here 1st and 10 at their own 19-yard line. Now Watson. He's just going to dump this one off to his fullback out of the backfield. And he coughed it up. And this is picked up by the Dolphins. And they have the football and will take over at the 24-yard line. Often on fumbles, you look at the guy who coughed it up and say, geez, what did he do? But, hey, let's tip the cap to the defense here.
Not a problem at all, my man. I'm not even going to tip it. I'm going to doff my cap to him. Congratulations. Big-time play. Knocking it free and creating something good for your team.
Blue 90!
A first down carry here for Johnson. And down inside the 15 he goes. Give him 12 yards there, and the Dolphins have a first down. He was well over 100 yards last week. He told us this week, a little ambitious, said he wants to hit that 200 mark. We'll see.
Makes sense, though, doesn't it? Have we ever run into a running back that had a great game the week before that didn't think that's just going to naturally continue? Just make sure you feed me the football. And that's what they're all about. continuity, rhythm, number of carries. Just keep giving it to him.
And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
They'll hand it off now. Johnson. And he will push his way forward down to about the 3-yard line. He can muster only a yard there, and they'll be left with a 3rd and very short. They'll try and run for it. Here's Johnson. And this one will wind up with him losing yardage. Back to the 4-yard line. That'll make it 4th down after a loss of 1. The kick by Sanders is good. And the Dolphins will jump out to a 3-0 lead. A good drive gets them inside the 5, but they could not punch it in.
And credit the defense, too. Make sure that happens, because that was the old bend but don't break approach. Made sure they contained them when they absolutely had to and forced the field goal attempt that went through.
And now out comes Houston. And last time they coughed it up, led to a field goal. They're fortunate that it only led to a field goal, but still, they're not happy about it.
Could you sense the relief, though, when they only gave up the field goal? And they were able to trot back out on the field and start this drive. A little more pep in their step because they didn't cost their team a touchdown. But they know they've got to do it a lot better than they did on the last possession.
The coach will just be relieved, though, if they recoup with a score here, right?
I think the coach will be ecstatic to see them pick themselves back up and now take it downfield, punching the end zone without turning it over.
Line of scrimmage, again the 25, 2nd and 10. On the ground, this is Lamar Miller. And he'll get this one up to the 26. Only a yard on the pickup there, so it leaves them needing a conversion here on 3rd and a tough 9.
Well, that's a good start to this drive on the defensive side of the ball.
Forcing incompletion on 1st down. Then you're able to shut down the running play on 2nd.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised now. A little bit of pressure going at the quarterback in an expected passing situation.
Throwing on 3rd down, Watson. Flush to his right. He gets away from 1. And he's taken down, trying to do a little too much, getting outside of the pocket, and it results in a sack. Brandon Graham in there to get him for a loss of 3, and it'll be 4th down. They only punted twice in the win last week as he gets this one away. It's taken to the 26. He will go out right near the 35-yard line. A tremendous return there, 39 yards. And the Dolphins will begin this drive in great field position, 1st and 10. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10.
Gone!
Now a play fake here on 1st down. On the left side, this is Stills. And he's brought down after a very nice gain. And that one results in 35 yards.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. They'll try and run. This is Johnson. And he is in. Touchdown, Miami. David Johnson, his 9th touchdown of the season. And the Dolphins add on to their lead. And there you go. Nothing really too complex. Block, keep to your assignments, let them run it in. They did it.
Fundamental football. Good blocking beats good tackling on that play. End result, touchdown.
And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Texans offense now, they get set to head back on the field here. And it's been a rocky start for them thus far. They had the turnover and then the punt on those first 2 drives.
So there is optimism because they've improved, right? Turnover, you just noted it on the first drive.
Punt's better than the turnover.
The punt is better on the second one. Now they're hoping to turn into 1st downs and hopefully points.
And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. Give him 10 yards there, and about by the nose of the football, he's going to have a 1st down. They keep it with Miller on first down. And this defense not giving him anything there. Maybe a yard up to the 36.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. A good pickup there of 20 yards.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in space, let him use his leg.
Yeah, if he can get a matchup against a linebacker or maybe a defensive end dropping out in a zone blitz, he's going to win that battle just about every time.
And there they went crossing route against the zone defense. What do you think of that?
Takes real coordination between the passer and the receiver because you've got to read those zones and where the open spots are and be on the same page with the guy throwing the football. Because sometimes you're throwing it in front of the zone. Sometimes you're throwing it between the zones. Sometimes the receiver's going to just kind of find a spot and what we call sit down and present himself to the quarterback and throw it there. It's a tough read, but when they're in sync, it's really effective.
The first down line at the 34 here on third down.
Tiger! Come back! Blue 80! Tiger!
From the gun, here's Watson. And he's got the completion to Hopkins. First catch of the game for Hopkins. It's a first down. And he's top 5 in the league in terms of receiving yardage because of plays like that. What have you seen from him on film that you like so much?
Well, I'll strip away everything else and get to what we call the moment of truth. When the ball's arriving and there's a defender there, he just comes down with the ball. He competes and takes it away. Great hands, great ability to finish the catch.
Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
Richmond!
On second down, here's Watson. Throw left side, taken in by Miller. And they'll bring him down at the 18-yard line. It's a 9-yard gain, and it keeps the drive moving.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
Back to throw, Watson. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
They're bringing a lot of pressure here already in the first quarter. Already sacked him once. Now they get in there and knock another one away. You think maybe that Tucker rule being gone makes defenses a lot bolder?
Yes, indeed. That time, lucky that the arm was going forward. Incomplete pass. On 2nd and 10, Watson. Throw left side, complete. It's Griffin. His first catch of the game, good for 11 and a first down.
I got a kick out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations, but a guy of his size, can't really hide him. But the tight end drag route, definitely an effective way to sneak him across the formation for an easy completion and a first down.
Watson looks to throw again. And he is going to go down. He will be sacked on the final play of this first quarter. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, and it's Texans football as we get going in quarter number 2. And they'll come up looking to keep this drive moving. They'll try again here from the 7 on 2nd and goal. He's going to get it running right. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. 5 yards on the pickup, and that's going to bring up an interesting 3rd and goal.
Well, he did get a taste the previous week. He got into the end zone, trying his best to get there in this game. So far, he's been denied.
They'll try to punch it in with Miller. And he'll get blown up behind the line of scrimmage, back at the 6. It's a loss of a full 3 yards, and it brings up 4th down. And his kick is good. And they get themselves on the board here. It's 10-3. So they get the field goal, but that was a 14-play drive to get 3.
You sound like you're going negative on me.
I was.
Sounds like you're thinking the 3 is just not that good.
And people say that we're negative sometimes. So,
well, here's the deal. Getting the 3 is good. Obviously, you would think on a 14-play drive you're going to get 6 out of it. But that type of a drive can pay dividends later on because you might wear the defense down.
And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he had taken a knee, as they'll start at the 21-yard line. So now here come the Dolphins. They're starting to put some space here. You know, first quarter, they didn't look so hot offensively. This second quarter, though, they've looked really good.
They've jumped in the saddle in a big way now, and now they're in full gallop. I mean, before, kind of cantering around a little bit, right, trying to feel their way, not getting done what they wanted to. But somehow they put it together with play calling, execution, and now there's a pretty big gap.
And they'll look to make that gap even bigger here. And down he'll go at the 25. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
Four yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. Trying to lay one up deep. He's got him in, complete. And he'll be down deep into Houston territory. A big play there for the Dolphins. 64 yards.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
Line of scrimmage moves from their own 25 all the way to the red zone now for 1st and 10.
No, check, Patriots!
They go play action here on 1st down. Out to his left. And he takes it inside the 10 to the 8 before he's out of bounds. A gain of 4 on the play, and it'll bring up a 2nd down.
And the big guy catches the ball out of the backfield, and oftentimes it's quite a surprise to the guys playing defense because not ordinarily thought as a pass catcher, it often works when they decide to dial it up.
No, check, Patriots! Detroit!
They'll look to throw. And he fires one incomplete.
All right, that one fell incomplete there, but the best quarterbacks, they'll miss on 40% of their throws, somewhere in that neighborhood, similar to a great hitter in baseball who's going to fail 7 out of 10 times and still have a great year. In this case, you want perfection, but way better that it hits the ground instead going to an opposite color jersey.
So after the 2nd down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. They'll try the option right here on 3rd down. They'll run it with Johnson. And this time he's going backwards. So after the no gain on the last attempt, here they get him behind the line. So out comes the field goal team now for the 2nd time here today. Sanders' kick is good. And they will stretch their lead to 10 now at 13-3. No problems in the field goal department so far. He's 2 for 2.
Pretty reliable here in this game, isn't he? And to me, that bodes well for them. If they need him late in the game, his confidence should be sky high.
This is fielded at the goal line. And now out comes Houston. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the 3-point?
The kicker.
Exactly. He put it through the post. That's going to help him in the contract time. But that offense, they're thinking, let's get in the end zone this time.
I don't know if that helped him at contract time. You could have kicked that one through.
I don't know about that.
Toe bad.
I don't know about that. Super toe.
And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair.
We just saw another example of how the defense is winning this game. Really at the point of attack, the offensive line is just getting pushed around. I think now as a play caller, you've got to give them a little bit of help. Maybe you keep your tight ends a little bit more. Maybe the running backs help you a little bit with the pass blocking. But you've got to help them get some confidence because you can't abandon the play calling right now.
Here's Watson going for the deep ball. And that's caught inside the 35. And all the way down to the 24-yard line. Watson to Hopkins for a huge hookup. 45 yards. Clock running, under 4 to play now as they come up on 1st and 10.
Richmond. Tiger.
Here's Watson. He's going to go down here, a sack. They push him back to the 34. Michael Bennett in there to drop him, and it'll be a loss of about 8. So 2nd and long, and got to be careful not to fall out of field goal range. Watson going to give this one to Miller. And he's able to get it to the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line. 13 yards on the pickup, and they're going to face a 3rd down.
It seemed like the situation was 2nd and a mile to go for a 1st down, which screams what? Throw the football. You got to pass in order to try and pick up that kind of yardage. But in this case, they ran a tendency breaker because the tendency is for defenses to be out there and be set up for a pass. So you break tendency and actually run the football.
And that is caught. Touchdown, Texans. As his guys are in for 6. And the Texans have cut it to within a score.
That's almost just not right. You cover everybody. But those tight ends, they can be awfully reliable.
Very reliable. The defense just has to hate those guys.
This drives them crazy because oftentimes you can't match up with them. They have you either with size, speed, or maybe even just strength.
The return man is Grant. And he's able to get it up close to the 35, but hang on here. Penalty marker down. This one might be going the other way. So that will push him back.
And now we know why I have a little extra space to run, don't we? An illegal block in the back, that penalty will move them back.
So the special teams penalty cost some yardage there as they come out on 1st and 10. They'll look to throw now on 1st down. And this is incomplete.
One thing I have learned, receivers don't mind high throws so much to the sideline, but do that over the middle to them, and not only are the DBs going to throw a little verbal trash their way, when they get back to the huddle, they're going to have a few words to say to their QB, aren't they?
Yeah, hung out to dry a little bit there on the high throw. Luckily fell incomplete. So after the incompletion, 2nd and 10 from the 22. And 2nd and 10, he'll look to throw again. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Drake. And he'll go down just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. Give him 2 yards on that play, and it'll be 3rd down. Coming up to the line, and they will need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. They just do get the playoff as he'll look to throw. A bullet throw, but incomplete.
And I feel like my man, Old Mo, momentum might be changing jerseys right now. How about what they just got done? They scored a touchdown their last drive. Now here's a 3 and out. Maybe momentum's getting ready to creep to the other sideline.
Taken in at the 22. So 1:55 to go in the first half. We'll come back to Miami after this. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Now a first down throw, Watson. Over the middle, complete. It's Sherman. And he'll get up to the 43-yard line. It's a 9-yard pickup on the play, and it'll be second and about a yard.
Now that's often a surprise for the defensive guys when they see the big fella slide out of the backfield and catch the ball. Not something they usually go over in practice very often.
They get 5 out of that one, and it moves the chains.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of the yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another first down with that run.
On 1st and 10, Watson. And he's going to drop this off to his fullback. And he'll get it out to midfield. Looks like, yeah, they'll spot it right at midfield at the 50. They'll get a couple yards on that one, and it'll make it a second down. Now a handoff to Miller. And he's across midfield and into Miami territory. Now the Dolphins are going to halt the action here. It's a timeout as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in half number 1. The Texans on 3rd down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This will be 3rd and 6. Play action from Miller. Now Watson being chased out left. Now he'll let it go deep down the left sideline. And a shot taken on 3rd down, unsuccessful. 4th down now.
But one thing's for sure, when you get a big receiver and you trust him downfield, you're going to give him opportunities to go up and get that 50-50 ball.
And he is a darn good big receiver. Unfortunately, that time didn't work out. Nice job defensively. And that'll hit in the end zone. Much too much leg there. That'll be a touchback. And out come the Dolphins now. And we'll see how this is played. Offensively, they've got the lead. Not a whole lot of time left. What do you think, Charles?
Well, it's tempting to try and add to your lead. But a mistake there, that can change things in a big way. I say go ahead, take the knee, get on out for the half.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. Now before this second down play, we'll get whistles and a timeout as they stop it with 28 seconds to go in the first half of play. From the 26, they'll line up on 2nd and 4. The play action fake. They'll look to throw. And he's going to go down. The Texans come at him and able to bring him to the ground. And now the Texans are going to stop it as they signal for a timeout. As the stoppage will come with 23 seconds to go till halftime. The Dolphins on 3rd down. Not good. 0 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd down and 12. Looking to throw. He's going to flip that out to the flat. It's complete. And he'll lose yardage here. Back to the 15. And now the Texans want to call another timeout as the clock will stop with 18 seconds to go in the first half. And he's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. Taking it about the 36. It's a 45-yard punt and a decent return there of 9 yards. And control of the football switching hands with very little time remaining until the half. A first update now from Cleveland, and it's a big-time advantage for the Browns. They just scored again, pouring it on. And we'll try and keep you updated on those events and others around the league as we continue through this one. Caught left side, Hopkins. That one goes for 24 yards. So 3 seconds here remain in the half. On is the field goal unit to see about getting 3 points. He hit his first. Now this one from 48 yards away. And his kick is absolutely perfect. So thanks to the late field goal, we are all tied up heading to intermission as we send you up to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman and our EA Sports Halftime Report. Nothing separating these two teams on the scoreboard as the kick's away here. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. And the Texans set to come onto the field. They have a chance to break our tie here as we get a look at the first drive of quarter 3.
And it's such a tone setter, isn't it? Because both sides trying to seize momentum to begin the half. What do they have dialed up that'll give them an advantage to move the ball downfield?
Let's find out what they have dialed up. Watson will bring up the Texans here, 1st and 10 at their own 23.
Black got it out good.
Second half begins with a run from Miller. Takes this to the 27, give him 4 yards. Tough running there. That's a hard-earned 4 yards.
Yeah, those are the unsung kind of runs. They don't fill up the stat sheet, but they do set you up in good position on 2nd down.
Hey, black 22. Black 22.
On 2nd down, here's Miller. And he'll push his way forward to about the 32. Call it a gain of 5 there on the run, but they'll remain a yard or 2 short here with 3rd down coming up.
Reset. Come back.
A shotgun snap for Watson. Oh, the ball is out. Watson lost it.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
Play action. They'll throw. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he'll be brought down, it looks like, right at the 15. Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
On 2nd down, Johnson. And not much there at all. He's up only to about the 16-yard line. J.J. Watt, the one that gets him down.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
The Dolphins on 3rd down. A pretty woeful 0 for 5 thus far. This is 3rd and 7.
Detroit!
They'll drop to throw. Fine tough. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. J.J. Watt in there to get him for a loss of 3, and it'll be 4th down. His first punt, 48 yards. This one looks equally as good. And now out comes Houston. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
They'll start out on the ground. It's Lamar Miller. And he'll rumble for about 5, up close to the 40.
Partner, I think from our experience together, we have learned that most offensive coordinators are going to tell you, if I'm going to run the football on first down, I've got to get at least 4 yards. They got 5 here. They've got to feel pretty good about that one.
Flag 22! Flag 22!
Watson off play action. Caught here by Griffin. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. They get 14 on that one. Good for a Houston first down.
Well, from an offense's perspective, that sure was pretty, because the corner route is extremely difficult to defend from my perspective.
What we just saw there, is that sort of the evolution of the tight end position?
Yeah, I think it is, because more and more, tight ends are being treated like wide receivers.
There he goes, left side. Touchdown, Houston. A big play there. 2 catches, 2 touchdowns here so far. And the Texans have broken the tie.
I know we often laugh, and sometimes we even exalt the guys who are great trash talkers and give us some really funny lines. But the bottom line is absolute production on the field. His second touchdown of the game, and they lead.
And now they'll be looking to their defense to preserve that lead. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. Here comes Grant on the return. And he nearly broke that for more, but as it is, they'll start this drive at about the 37-yard line. Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
And they'll start the drive on the ground with Johnson. And able to get this one all the way up to about the 46-yard line. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
Detroit! Detroit!
They go to Johnson again. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Now back to throw. And Amendola with a catch. And taking it across midfield and just shy of the 40. First time they've looked his way in this game. He comes through picking up the first. Got to say, I was a little surprised to see him, Charles, come out in the shotgun on 3rd and less than a yard.
Yeah, but the way the NFL is nowadays, we hardly ever see anyone really run for it on short yardage. So they're going to throw the football more times than not. That was a nice, easy rhythm throw right there.
And Johnson lost the football. It's loose, poked out, and the Texans scoop it. And they are going to set up shop at the 32-yard line. So the defense there, opportunistic.
It's nice to give them credit, isn't it? Because so many times it's more a matter of what the offensive guy didn't do. He didn't secure the ball, didn't cover up. In this case, let's just give credit to where it belongs. Knocked it free, made a big play.
Following the fumble recovery, Watson. And bulldozing his way through. Oh, he's able to outmuscle him here as he pulls it in. He got 29 yards that time.
But when you hit him on the move like that, and he's able to get into open field with a full head of steam, oh, boy, it's going to be tough to get him down.
Yeah, there was a big window. They're lucky they did get him down. Now a play fake here on first down. Flushed out right. Trying to force it to Hopkins, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 12. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
I think that interception happened for two reasons. Quarterback gets outside the pocket and panics a little bit, and receiver doesn't make sure he's absolutely in an open spot. So there's a guy lurking, took the ball from him.
Yeah, so don't wave your arms, right, as a receiver if you're not wide open.
Got to know that you're open. Otherwise, just don't do it.
And that's going to be too high, out of bounds and incomplete.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10.
Lucky 56. Lucky 56.
They'll set up to throw. Going deep here for Stills. Incomplete, almost intercepted. They haven't picked him off yet. Would have been a great time for the first, but instead it's 3rd down. Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
Watch it now, Barney. Barney.
And the blitz does come. Under pressure, and the Texans able to get in there for the sack. Christian Covington in there to get him for a loss of 9, and that'll lead to 4th down. Here's Matt Hawk now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. So a short drop, but he's able to get it out, and this is a good kick. He'll take it at the 42. Well, he wasn't too far from breaking that. Officially, give him 15. And the Texans with great field position to start this drive as they take over 1st and 10. They'll try and get the run game going. This is Miller. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
An opportunity to get a drive started here at the end of the 3rd quarter. What you're trying to do is break the game down a little bit. Don't let your guys see too deep into the game, into the future, and say, oh, we got to get here. No, right here, right in front of them, melt the clock down, get to the 4th quarter, try and keep going.
And try to keep that lead.
Exactly.
They'll run with Miller. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield.
Michael Bennett's versatility, being able to play any position along the defensive front, allows him to make those types of plays. He finds good matchups and gets into the offensive backfield.
And there it works for a tackle for loss.
Back 22. Target.
Throwing on 3rd down, Watson. And the catch made by Hopkins. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or two shy of the 30. That's good for a Texan first down, a 12-yard pickup.
Did you see that route the way that I did? I thought he was trying to get deep.
Yeah, that wasn't the first option.
No, it came off of that guy, the deep guy, and came underneath on the drag, completed it very well.
Back now in Miami. It's the Texans in control of the football and leading this game as well as we start the 4th. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Watson on first down. This is caught. And he's in. Touchdown, Houston. in for the score. And the Texans will add on to their lead. And nowadays in NFL football, you have to account for all the receivers, sure, but the tight end's such a weapon, and they prove it right there.
Oh, without a doubt. And we're seeing now the golden age of tight ends catching the football. I go back to Kellen Winslow. To me, he was the prototype of what we're seeing today. We're seeing it each and every week now.
The return man is Grant. And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. The Dolphins offense now working their way back onto the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency. Move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. Underneath for Johnson. And he'll be brought down right around the 37. It'll be a pickup of just 2, and it'll make it second down. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. And he's going to go down. The Texans come at him and able to bring him to the ground. Whitney Merciless in there to drop him, and it'll be a loss of about 8. The Dolphins on third down. Just 1 conversion in 8 tries. Not good. This is 3rd and 16.
Gone!
He'll look to throw. Escaping the pressure right. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. He opted to go with a scramble, gets 2 yards, and now it's 4th. Now on 4th down, we've got a whistle here and a timeout. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the 4th quarter. Here's Matt Hawk now. He's been terrific so far. And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one. And now out comes Houston. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
On first down, it's Watson. And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be second down.
Anytime a ball's thrown in the middle of the field and it's popped up in the air, I expect someone to catch. It doesn't matter whether it's offense or defense, because there's usually a great amount of bodies in that part of the field. In this case, no one came up with it.
Miller will get it. He has been busy today. And that one blown up quickly, as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. They'll lose a yard, and it brings up 3rd. The Texans on 3rd down. They've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. This is 3rd and 11.
Down! Blue 80! Blue 80!
Faking the give. Now Watson. He's going to go for a big play downfield. And this is, oh my goodness, he pulled it in one-handed. The Clemson connection. Watson to Hopkins for a big one. 65 yards. Well, it's one thing to grab it with one hand, but when you make a catch of that distance, quite another.
Yes, sir. I mean, that one right there, we keep talking about the high-flying antics that we're seeing from receivers nowadays. Doesn't matter what spot they start in. But when it actually does happen in the heat of battle, it brings me right out of my seat.
Throw left side complete. That's Fuller. 11 more on that one and another first down.
These guys are running offense like you drive. The pedal is down, stomp down. How about that? Back-to-back completions. They are rolling.
So much for being conservative and running that football.
Richmond. Hey, black 22. Black 22.
They'll run it here. This is Deontay Foreman. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. Give him 10 yards on the pickup, and that'll bring up a second in just about a few inches here.
Hey, black 22. Black 22.
Watson now going to run the option right. A good chance now to put this game on ice. This is 1st and goal.
Come back.
Out of the gun, Watson. And he'll take this one in for a Texans touchdown. Deshaun Watson, 4 touchdown passes now in the ball game, and the Texans will extend their lead.
You have fun with this one, partner?
I am. I mean, he's been fun to watch under center.
We always talk about, getting to the next level, right? When we see people get into the zone, this guy's in the master class right now. What a performance he's putting on, just carving them up.
4 touchdown passes, carving them up is right. Seems like everything he throws is going to be a completion and going in the end zone. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. The Dolphins offense now ready to go back out onto the field. And with this deficit, you can't have too many more drives like the last drive where you had to punt it away.
You know what I would tell my offense right here? The punter doesn't exist, guys. He doesn't even exist. He's not a team anymore. I just cut him, all right? So you've got to go out and create some offense for us here and give us some points. No way does that guy get on the field in this drive.
Poor punter.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault. But hey, listen, there's got to be casualties at times. We're trying to win a game.
4 down. Alert flow.
They'll come out throwing here on 1st down. And his throw is incomplete. Coverage that time by Aaron Colvin. Another wayward pass. Things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
So now they'll come up on 2nd and 10, once again from the 28. Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. Under pressure, and the Texans able to get in there for the sack. J.J. Watt in there to pick up his 2nd sack now of the afternoon. The Dolphins on 3rd down, a very anemic, 1 for 9 thus far. This is 3rd and 17. They'll set up a throw. Amendola's got it, complete. And this one will go to the 28-yard line. The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up 4th. You got the big lead defensively, willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
3 down. Hey, check. 3 down.
Got to try it here. He's back to throw. And he'll be hit from behind and taken down. Christian Covington in there to get him his 2nd sack now of the afternoon.
Target. Hey, black 22. Black 22.
They go play action here on 1st down. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off down at the 10. And he will bring it back. It's a pick 6 and a Dolphins touchdown. Sanders on for the extra point. Extra point up and good by Sanders. And the lead will be cut down to 14. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six. And now the kick is away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Heading out is the Texans offense as they get set to take over here. Big stop on the turnover on downs to get the football back, and now it's just all about salting this one away.
Yeah, just slowly bleed the clock away. Clock's definitely on your side. And, you know, when we talk about analytics in the game, what is this one? The advanced win metrics? Because if you take care of the football here, bleed the clock down, with about 95% chance of winning
yeah,
it.
I'd say 95 or better. And I know you always say it, every coach does. It's just protecting the football at this point.
Yeah, knowing that the defensive guys.
And intercepted. Maybe the turning point they need. Picked off by Mike Hilton. And they have possession, and they have it at the 38-yard line. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. They'll try and start this drive in the air. Brought in over the middle by Graham. And he lost the football. And the Texans say they have it. They do.
Brandon, I don't want to violate any of our broadcasting rules by declaring a game over before it's over. But that one, that puts them in real jeopardy there.
Absolutely. It was a two-possession game. It is a two-possession game at this stage in the fourth. They needed points out of that drive.
And obviously now, no chance at all to get those points that they so desperately needed.
They begin with a run by Miller. And he got blown up. Losing yardage on the play back at the 44. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down. Got to figure now, after getting that turnover, they're just going to be happy to keep the ball on the ground, right?
This is where covering the football, taking care of the ball, all the ball security terms that have ever been used, they come into play for the guys on offense right now. Just take care of it, and they've got a good chance of ending up winning this game.
Now it's Watson. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
Normally, he's pretty reliable. Usually catches what's thrown to him. On that play, he simply dropped it.
The Texans on 3rd down. They've hit 4 of 7. This is 3rd down and 12. Here's a give to Miller. And this one's going to go the wrong way. Losing yardage back at the 42. He lost 2, and it brings up 4th. The Texans send the punter out as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. And this will be taken at the 13. 12 yards on the return that time, and it'll be Dolphin football. Out comes the Dolphin offense now as they get set to take over here. And the turnover last time, that's sort of been symptomatic of their struggles here in this one.
Big word. I like it, though, because you're exactly right.
You like that, don't you?
All game long, they've struggled moving the ball, turning it over on the last possession. Is that word again, symptomatic?
Yeah.
I like that.
Your analysis, symptomatic of the success of this broadcast.
What I like is that you gave me the word, and I just kept using it.
Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
We've seen this quite a few times in this game. Offensive line unable to keep leverage, unable to keep people away, facing a lot of pressure. Fortunate just to get rid of it.
One of the reasons they're down is that inability, though, to stop the pressure. We saw another example of it there.
Lucky 56. Lucky.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. He finds an opening past the 40. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Grant. It'll be a pickup of 16 and a Dolphin 1st down.
Slant route's effective no matter who's running the route and catching the ball. But when you have a receiver of that stature, you have to be a little bit more precise throwing it. You don't have the same catch radius with the bigger targets.
11 more yards that go around, a 1st down as well. They were in zone defensively, went with a crossing route. It's always interesting to watch that chess match.
Yeah, and I think safeties don't mind crossing crossing routes against zone, because eventually you're going to run into their territory, and that's when they lick their chops in order to get the big hit or a play on the ball.
Offensively, nice execution to find a hole, make the catch. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. And incomplete on the deep ball.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, fourth quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. The Dolphins on third down, not getting the job done at all. A very poor 1 for 10. This is 3rd and 4. Looking to throw. And this is going to be incomplete. Coverage that time by Aaron Colvin.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on third down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a 4th down decision.
As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. That's to his running back, complete. And they are able to stop it, but he does take it all the way to the 2. They keep the game alive, at least for the moment, as it's a 1st down. And now the Texans are going to stop it as they signal for a timeout. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. They pitch it out to Johnson. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down. Back to throw here. And this is caught now for a late touchdown. So hold everything here. This one's not over yet.
I'm not sure win-win is the proper term here, but it certainly felt like it. They got the touchdown they needed. But if I'm on the defensive side of the ball, okay, you got the touchdown, but it sure took you a long time.
Yeah, because offensively, though, you're probably hoping for a 1 to 5 play drive. That one ate up a little more time than they were hoping.
You're exactly right, and if you have that 1 to 5 play drive, you actually build up momentum and even more hope. When they had to slog their way downfield, they got the touchdown, but it's almost like, yeah, you know.
Doesn't feel right.
Exactly.
Well, 4th quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of an anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
A big gain there, and that should certainly be enough to put this one in the win column.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
Scoring, there's no doubt about that in this one, Charles. Points, they were not at a premium. They were pretty easy to come by.
They were, but it was fun, wasn't it? Because both teams finding ways to click. And you know people who love this game, they also love baseball games that are 14-11 with 3 or 4 home runs mixed in.
So for the Texans, hey, they finish a perfect month of September as they move to 4-0 on the new campaign. And they'll get another road test next week as they head to Jacksonville to take on the Jaguars. Meanwhile, for the
You